Hello, sweet friend. My name is Micah, and in this video, I want to show you my October pages in my A6 Hobonichi journal. This is my daily creative journal, and it's getting so fluffy. There's quite some chunk building up, but that's the fun thing. So first up here is my monthly overview, which I typically use to do a daily highlight doodle, and this is how the October doodles turned out. Really cute. I've mentioned before, this is just a really fun exercise in drawing these tiny icons, as well as it's just a fun overview of the month. I'm always surprised of what things actually happened in the month. So yeah, these are quite a favorite of mine. But now onto the daily pages. Yeah, I think I put a bookmark in there. So for the October overview page here, I just did a little bit of collaging, but then I ended up not really writing anything in there. So far I haven't been consistent in what I do with these monthly introductory pages. For November, I can show you, I did also just some collaging, and then I actually wrote out what I'm expecting November to feel like, or what I feel like going into November. So that, I felt that was quite nice. So yeah, maybe that's a way to go. But the fun thing here was that I used a gold jelly roll to add some gold highlights here to the witch, to her cape, and to her, I don't know if you can tell, oh yeah, there, to her hat there, and then I outlined the stars on that washi strip with the gold, and then here in the background I actually used some shimmering watercolor. Yeah, just really going all out with the sparkly and shimmery bits, which has been quite fun. I kind of like it, which I didn't expect, but yeah. And of course, it's always great if you start the month with preparing for taxes. So that's how our October started, as well as our car actually had some trouble, so we had to have it picked up, and so this is what these two bat cats are indicating. It was double trouble, filing taxes and car trouble. But I mean, they do look mischievous, but I also think they look very cute. But yeah, that's what they indicate there. I quite like playing around with sort of more interpretive uses of images sometimes. On the 3rd, I was playing around a lot with painting or drawing with inks. If you've been around for a while, I sometimes like to do these kinds of doodles where parts of it is just a shape, a color shape, and then the details are drawn in with lines. And usually I use my Tombows, and then I was like, oh, but I can use all these little ink samples that I have. I mean, for a drawing like this, you need so little ink. So you can get a lot of mileage out of those ink samples. So that was quite fun. I love how this turned out with the colorful background and then just having the line drawing of the ink bottle there. Quite cute. Yeah, that day I was feeling a little bit off balance, so I tried to do cute and wonderful imagery with some flowers and a cat with her butterfly costume, just really mellow, mellowing myself by decorating with mellow elements. This day, my husband and I went to Starbucks nearby where our car was being repaired, so we were just hanging out and working at that Starbucks, and so I drew myself working there with my drink and things like that. Yeah, just a really simple page, just again lines and color. I played around a lot with color this month, and ways of trying to figure out drawings, how I can add drawings to add that personal touch without over committing. So yeah, here just a little bit of collaging. The 7th was the first day that felt a little cool, but I'm also someone who is just, in general, relatively cold. I get cold easily. I get really cold hands and feet. But yeah, that was definitely the first day where I felt it. And so that's what these cats are for. It's like, okay, I guess we reached the time where we just snuggle up in bed and hibernate. I think these upcoming couple pages I did in a journal with me video, so you can check that out if you're interested in seeing me doodle this. That was just a lazy Sunday, and I was hanging out on the couch and watching some fun YouTube videos, and we made a German chocolate cake, which ended up actually not tasting that great. A little bit of a bummer there. I've been playing around with time tracking. I'm trying to get a little bit more of an objective view of where my time goes, what takes the longest, and things like that. Just because I feel like that's valuable information, especially going into the new year, if I want to try and, zhush some things around. And so I felt like, managing time management and time tracking, making better use of our time, or magically finding more time to do the things we want to do, felt very magical. And so that's where this cute cat witch is here. And again, I added some gold stars in the background there. And this background is actually a mixture of watercolor and ink sample, which I think turned out quite fun. And then this day I did a photo shoot for Cat Collage Club. I guess I didn't mention, if you're new here, I'm the founder and designer behind Cat Collage Club, which is a cat-themed journal printable subscription. And so all the cats in this journal are from Cat Collage Club. And so I was just taking some photos for social media, and I did this little doodle of myself. Because I was leaning over our coffee table where it's set up for the photo shoot, and I felt it in my back quite a bit. I am that out of shape that a photo shoot like that gives me sore muscles. It's bad. It's bad. Just an errand day where I had found some curtains for my office, but ended up returning it because I didn't quite go with the rug as I had hoped, which was a bummer. Again, some backgrounds with some fountain pen ink. This is Ferris Wheel Press Morningside Mint, which I think is such a beautiful color, but in writing I felt like it was a little too light, but as a background it's quite fun. So I'm excited to play around with some of those ink colors that so far I haven't found a good use for. That was the day when I filmed my tutorial on how to draw easy doodle trees. I have a whole playlist on how to draw easy journal doodles, so you can include a little bit of drawing in your own journals if that's something that sounds interesting to you. I'll have that linked. And then that was Friday the 13th, which had nothing bad in store for us. Just a cute kitty with some looking out on the fall window. We went out for lunch at Burger King, I guess. Yeah, that was a Saturday. My husband has his own art school, online art school, and I actually helped him host a live session that day, which was really, really fun. I haven't done that in a long time, so that was quite the event. And this is what AI thinks how my name is spelled. So yeah, that's quite interesting. So my husband wrote that out, and I stuck that in here because it's quite fun. And then that Sunday we went to our favorite nature preserve where we love to just hike around, and I'm so glad we went out. It was really gloomy that day, but we decided to go anyway, and once we were there and started walking, I was like, wow, yeah. The hard part is motivating yourself to get out, but once you're there, it's just so lovely. So we ended up actually hiking way more than we had planned on doing because we enjoyed it so much. And then just some really simple pages here. I woke up at 5:30, which is very early for me, but couldn't fall back to sleep. So yeah, this was definitely me, tired but not being able to fall back asleep. I don't know, you probably know that feeling. Just one of those things. And then this day we had a wonderful sushi lunch, and this is quite fun because I'm always intimidated about drawing food. It's just not something I do very much. I feel like I get overwhelmed with all the details in food, and certain foods only look recognizable, I feel like, when you get the details and the texture right. Something that I felt about sushi as well. But then I was like, okay, well, if you feel so overwhelmed with the detail, why not go really, really simple? And so I just took a really big, or not a big, but a Tombow brush marker, and really simplified it with just these colors of the Tombows and then the black. And it actually looks really recognizable. So I always get a veggie roll with avocado and carrot, and then they put in a spring roll or a fresh roll. So yeah, that was quite fun how that turned out. I think that was a good way to go, and a good tip if you feel overwhelmed with the little details and don't quite know how to manage them. Just go bolder. That simplifies it already, and you might end up with something that is actually more recognizable. Yeah, just again, very, very simple spreads. That day we took a walk, and I just loved all the colors. So I had taken this photo of the fall trees and then just challenged myself to mix some of the colors that I saw with watercolor. Just a fun little creative exercise, you know. I can highly recommend doing something like this if you love color, or if you're new to watercolor and you feel like playing around with color but you don't have time to do a whole sketch. Why not just challenge yourself to come up with a color palette? Either you could represent your emotions that day, or just colors that you feel drawn to, but you can also take either a photo or a piece of art even, and just try and match them. Just a fun little exercise, and good way to fill a page if nothing much happened that day. Yeah, I've recently have been having a lot of really vivid dreams, really strange dreams. I must say I'm not a fan of them because, for one, they're weird, but then also they're also so vivid that I end up waking up and being a little confused. So anyway, I just did a really soft watercolor background here, and then added some gold stars again, if you see that, and then this cat hanging out on that cloud. I thought that went really well together. This was a phase in the month where I tried to play around again with how I approached the layouts. So I left these top rows where there's that check mark, I left those blank because I was considering getting the English planner version of the Hobonichi, you know, the one with the black cover, and in that one this area doesn't exist. So I was trying to figure out if I liked that layout, but I feel like some of these, I do like how these pages turned out with all these doodles, which was another Journal With Me video, by the way. But they do seem maybe a little too minimalistic. So I ended up going back to just, at some point anyway. I guess I did that for much longer than I thought. But you'll see, at the end of the month, I do go back to just using this area up top as well. But yeah, just doodling some things that I had bought while grocery shopping. And then I finally started jogging around our neighborhood again, and this day was such a gorgeous day, beautiful weather and all the fall trees, so it really felt like you were just running through this field of color. So I decided to just lay down a wash of different watercolors and then draw in the trees with line and just have the color bleed all over this though, which I think is really effective in capturing what it felt like. And then this was just a cute little collage exercise, I guess. Just really like how that turned out with combining these elements. This beautiful postage stamp image of the mushrooms is from Erin Ware. I love her printables that she offers on Patreon, so I'll have her linked below as well. So yeah, this month, taxes, car troubles, and then our water stopped getting warm or hot. Like it would get lukewarm if you got lucky. So there was quite a few cold showers that we had that month. But since then we've gotten it fixed. There was something broken with the sensor in the water boiler. But yeah, I drew this doodle cat shivering in the shower. Poor thing. Had to suffer the same fate as we did. On the 24th, my husband and I watched the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie with my in-laws, and we had quite a fun viewing experience. It's a really, really fun movie, and so I doodled, I doodled the turtles here with the Pentel Energel Clenna with the brown ink. It's a really fun. I don't know if this is considered a gel pen. I'm actually not an expert in the differences between like rollerball, ballpoint, and gel pen. It's not waterproof, as you see, so I activated some of the ink to make some areas have a little bit of value in them, to have them read a little better. But overall, just a fun thing to just doodle this promotional image here. And then, yeah, again, just playing around with leaving that top part blank there. But like I said, I often then end up with a blank spot down here, and I don't know quite how to fill that. But that day we took a walk around our neighborhood, and we met a cat and saw a cute dog looking out the window. So that's that doggy right here. Quite sweet. So I do like the elements. I just don't know if this is a little too sparse, even though I'm certainly someone who enjoys a little bit of minimalism and white space. I don't have to have every corner filled, but even this is maybe a little too much white space even for me. That was the day when maintenance came over and actually repaired or switched out the boiler, and so it felt like a little bit of a balancing act because I had quite a lot of work things I wanted to get done. But I don't know about you, but I always find it a little difficult to concentrate if someone is in the house. And it's not just the noises, but you always feel like you want to pay a little bit of attention to them in case they need something. But so that's what this cat here is indicating. Again, with like a subtle watercolor background there. And then the next day I was finally able to film some videos that I had been meaning to film. So catching up there. And then I quite like how this page turned out, or both of these. The color palette just really feels late autumnal to me. So once the warmer colors fade and we get into the lavenders and the maroons, quite fun. And I just really like how this actually turned out. Just a couple little elements coming together. And then that day, again, more photos. I really pushed hard. I really want to update the Collage Club website with some new photos. I have had the same photos on there for 2 years, so I printed these out just on normal printer paper. So they're not the greatest printouts, but I feel like it's enough and especially on that size. I mean, you're not going to get the full details anyway, but it's enough to remind me when I look back on what exactly, what those photos were and what that session was. And so, yeah, quite cute. And then here we have the Halloween page. I included this Halloween cat looking suspiciously towards the bats there flying over the pumpkin field. But overall, it was a really quiet Halloween for us. We didn't even get any trick-or-treaters, but that's okay. And yeah, that is bringing us to November. And yeah, I'm quite excited to get going in the November parts. How do you feel about these changing colors of the grid? Is that something you find quite exciting and fun? Do you feel like that's a fun, creative challenge to make that work? Do you just ignore the colors? I feel like lately I've been somewhat influenced by the colors. So for example, the October was a little this sort of lavender color. I did quite lean into that. And then with the greens, I'm leaning into that as well. So yeah, let me know what you feel about that. I hope your journaling is going well, that you're enjoying making daily pages and recording your thoughts and your life. Let me know if there's something that you've been trying out lately or that you're excited about trying out in your journals. But for now, thank you so much for sharing this time with me. Until next time, happy journaling!